Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new session with Code with Sally. This session is super exciting for me. I've been waiting for it for a long time. We have my great friend and amazing instructor, Andrés Perez, and he's located in Toronto as well, Toronto area or Canada. And he's a forward deployment engineer at Salesforce. So a lot of knowledge there that we all want to learn from. So thank you so much for your time. For anyone this is the first time to join, Code with Sally is a community and a every week session. We usually have a weekly session, once in English, once in Arabic, to teach Salesforce development or Agentforce vibes. And we have also a couple of videos about Agentforce script. And in the future, we'll be explaining one by one the Agentforce scripts, like recipes that Salesforce shared as well. So keep an eye. If you are interested, you can follow the channel and subscribe so you get notified with any new videos. And I'll be adding the previous video that Andrés Pérez had for AgentScript in the description as well. You can find the channel on YouTube. If you're interested as well, follow Kudu Sally on LinkedIn so you get notified with the events and the timing for it and what the topic will be covering. And with that, I would love to give it to Andres. I don't want to spend more time talking or like using the time to talk myself. I want Andres to go ahead and teach us. And we are all sad, by the way, Andres, that you are not anymore an instructor because I was always there for your
Oh, thank
sessions
you.
and I love learning a lot from you. So again, it's a great opportunity to have you here and I cannot wait to learn more from the session today from you. Thank you so much.
Oh, sweet words. Thank you. Yeah, it's sad and happy that I moved from an instructor. I promise that I will do some sessions like this to stay in touch with you guys. And thank you so much for everybody who is either here in person or watching the recording. And thank you for your support. It is because of you that I do these type of events. Um, I'm gonna try to share my screen. Um, Maybe get started. Let's
And
click
parents,
on.
Andres, while you are sharing, I just want to let everyone, I'll be monitoring the chat for the questions and I'll keep them sorted and like in one spot for Andres to cover them towards the end. So feel free to post your questions. I'll make sure to take note of them and will reply and answer one by one at the end. Thank you so much.
Yes. Your questions are also very important for me. It sounds silly, but it is. They are important because they will um, help me decide what type of topics you guys are eager to learn about and bring you more content on that. So please, if you're also watching this recording, so not live but the recording, DM me through a LinkedIn and say, "Oh, I want to learn about this or that," and I will be a pleasure to build something for that. Um, Before I actually get started, I wanted to answer one question which I've heard quite a bit, and it was on the chat this morning. Um, so yes, we have to learn yet another platform. It happens. This has happened before many different times throughout. Maybe not only Salesforce, but other environments. Within Salesforce, it happens when we went from Visualforce to Aura to Linear Components. And when Visualforce had its limitations, especially with a new type of HTML browsers, and then Salesforce decided to solve that particular need, and they created Aura. But then it decided that it could do better and have something that was not proprietary language but was more standard language. So they created or standards-based language. So they created language components. Kind of similar is happening with Agentforce, where a Dreamforce ago, not last Dreamforce, but what would that be? 2024, Dreamforce, they released Agentforce. And because there was a need, people were trying to work with LLMs to solve problems in their environments. And sure, there were different things like ChatGPT or whatever you could do, but Salesforce decided they wanted to bring all that stuff into Salesforce and make it native. So they created Agentforce a year and a half ago. And they started realizing that you may have seen the news where the headline says something like, Salesforce executives do not believe in the AI. And that's true, but what they are missing is the second part of the phrase. Of course, if they put the whole phrase together, it would be not a good headline. So you pretty much always see only the first half of the phrase. The full phrase is they don't believe in AI, but they're making something about it. They're doing something about it, and they're making the new Agentforce. And yes, it's hard. Yes, we have to learn another language. Yes, but if they had say, yeah, you know what? Absolutely, AI does not do work the way that we want it to because it's not deterministic. We need to build something that is deterministic. Our customers expect the agents to follow a specific process, as complex as that process can be. But they say, and then they say, yeah, and then they say, yeah, Mark Benioff. Yes, Mark, you're right, but people are gonna have to learn another language. And then say, Mark says, you guys, you know what? Yes, you're gonna have to learn it. So let's not do anything about it. No, that's not the take that Salesforce does. And we should actually be, I know it's more work for us, but we should be happy that actually Salesforce doesn't just deliver one version and stick with it, even though they know that there's more better things that they can do. So I'm happy that yes, we have another language. And what happens in a year, 2, 3, 4, I don't know if it's going to be another language. And if they do, I'll be here with you guys trying to teach you about it. So the new Agentforce, what they called Agentforce Next Generation, or NGA, which basically means Next Generation Agentforce, Salesforce created this NGA to allow us to do things that are deterministic with an LLM, which is not deterministic. And as part of my job, as I am a Salesforce employee, by the way, but I do this on the Saturdays because this is not part of my job. I do it because I love helping the community. So it's not part of my job, but during my job as a forward deployment engineer, FDE, is to help customers build their agents. And when the next generation Agentforce came around, the NGA came around, and they say it's going to be for more deterministic. I was, yeah, right. How are you going to do that? Because you're going to have to talk to an LLM, and the LLM is not going to be deterministic. So I gave myself a challenge, or maybe I gave Salesforce a challenge. Is okay, let's build something complicated that requires a lot of determinism and see if you can actually handle it and do it properly. So what I decided to do and what I decided to build was a fictitious website where you can buy music from it and listen to music and maybe get some recommendations. What are good songs for studying or dancing or eating or whatever. So I tried to make something that was complex, and I also added a very, very complicated process for customers to purchase music. Now, I am not selling music. I don't want to deal with copyrights, and so I don't even take your credit card. We just pretend that I do. I don't even ask for credit card. I have a screen says credit card will go here. My thing is to do a demo on something that it is overly complicated but not unrealistic. You may have very, very complex processes for doing a particular task, which if that's done by the traditional Agentforce, Agentforce will not be able to do it. It requires a deterministic agent, which kind of contradictory because agents are non-deterministic. So you need a deterministic, non-deterministic agent. And that's what NGA is about. So I gave up the challenge and I work on it and well, I learned it. And I was very surprised that actually it's not that difficult to build and it works the way that I want it to work, being very deterministic. And that's what the reason when Sally asked me to join her in channel, thanks, Sally, to tell everybody about the good news of what the NGA is about, how do you work with it, and it's so long that I broke this into two different topics. Part one is an introduction. So what are the structure, syntax, a little bit of that. That was 2 weeks ago. Sally has placed on this video somewhere the link to that first session. But this session is more towards developers and architects and trying to understand, okay, so I know what AgentScript is about. How can I use that? And that's what we're here together to learn. So let's go. And first of all, thank you, Sally, for inviting me. Thank you guys for being here because without you, this would not be possible. I'm just enabling this gathering of us together. But if nobody came, it would just be Sally and I in over some coffee as we have done. Because Sally and I, we live in the same city in Toronto. Right now, I'm not in Toronto. Right now, I'm in Seattle because I'm delivering some internal training to new FDE employees and on 2 weeks of how to work with Agentforce. All right. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Sally, for bringing me in. And please let me know if there's any other topics that you would like to hear about. Drop us a comment. DM me. I'll give you my LinkedIn later and DM me, ask me anything. I try to be an open book as much as possible. You may have seen, and I'm sure you have, seen this slide before. It goes blah, blah, blah. Don't make any purchase decisions based on blah, 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 blah. Today, it is really, really, really important because most of the things that we're going to talk about, it's still in beta. It's not GA yet. So definitely don't make your purchase decisions based on what's coming. The really, really good things are coming, but don't make your purchase decisions based on that. All right. So the agenda for today is I broke it into 4 different pieces. The first one is what is ETMS? And ETMS basically stands for El Toro IT. That's my nickname. That's how you find me on LinkedIn and YouTube and stuff. El Toro IT Music Store. Okay. So, which is the website that I built with an agent that allows you to view, enjoy, purchase songs and stuff like that. Okay. So I'll give you a little quick introduction, quick overview, a quick demo of what that particular website that I built is about, so that we understand then the next part is, okay, what do I do? What things I decided to do to make it work the way that I want it to work. There's one of the key important elements of how this works is the communication between Salesforce through the Agentforce and the website itself. So, for example, in order to be able to buy a song, you have to be viewing the song that you want to buy. But how does the viewing of the song on the URL, how can the Agentforce actually grab that information and know which song you're on the website? That's what I'm calling the web server to Agentforce integration. Then we move into another topic, which is, I call it selling songs is a complex process. And I made it probably more complicated than what it has to be. And the reason I made it more complicated is because I needed to make sure that it works in a very, very deterministic way. So we'll take a look at how the process, what kind of things I had to do to make that selling of a song or buying of a song work. Now we have that in mind, a few more things that are specific to the language AgentScript itself, the syntax, some very in-depth things that are not a part of the basic training we did. I did 2 weeks ago. All right, so far so good, I think. So what is ETMS? It's Eldor IT Music Store. What is this app all about? Well, once the user is logged in, so we need to deal with authentication in the site. Once you're logged in, you're going to get to this screen and the site is going to help you buy music. Okay, but you must be viewing a particular song. Okay, so right now I'm seeing a whole collection of different albums. As I'm going to show you in the demo, if I in this point say buy a song, I'm only seeing albums. Each album has 20 songs. Which song do you want to buy, right? So that's one of the examples of the deterministic things that it has to do. Also, it will try to upsell you, right? So because you can, in this side, you can only buy music. Yes, of course, that's what it is for. You can buy music with money or credits. So credits are an upsell. You will buy 50 credits and be able to buy songs like that. You can also buy passes. So buy an hour pass or a weekly pass or a monthly pass. So it tries to upsell you. Now, not every single time because it would be freaking annoying, but after half an hour of inactivity. So if I interact with the agent and interact, that timer gets reset. That's also part of being another step of the deterministic steps that it took. And once I have purchased a song, then the screen refreshes. So whatever I do in the agent affects the website in the same way that whatever I do in the website affects the agent. All right. So what I'm also going to do now, let me switch to this other screen here. What I'm about to do now is to show you the website that I built. Now, the website is getting very complicated. And if I was to do a full demo, where I actually type in the utterances and wait for the Agentforce to give me a response, it will make the demo very slow. So what I decided to do in order to shorten the time that it will take me for the demo and have more time for the rest of the content is I took screenshots of the demo. Okay, so it's not live. If you do want to see it, how it behaves live, because it does work, it works today. It fully works. I'm just trying to save time, compressing those empty spaces and trying to collapse the time. Send me a DM. That's the QR code for my LinkedIn page. Follow me, connect with me, send me a DM, and asking me for the how can I test the demo? I'll give you the URL for that. I have something hosted on Heroku, but you have to DM me for that. All right. So for now, it's just pictures, but this actually took these pictures 3 nights ago, maybe, yeah, I think it was 3 nights ago. And then I collapsed that into a slide deck and stuff, but it is a real, it does work, okay? All right. So this is the site that I built. You can choose different genre type of music. So let's say we go into Latin music. Of course, I'm Latin, I'm Colombian. Being Colombian, Shakira is my favorite artist, so you'll see a lot of her in this demo. And at the bottom right corner, you have your agent. Okay, so and then you can actually buy these songs, listen to them, see order CDs, stuff like that. All right. So once you are in a song, if you have not purchased it, then you can preview 30 seconds of the song. And this is being displayed on a YouTube video. Okay, so that's basically what the site does. Let's take a look. How do you actually purchase a particular song? So back to the homepage of the site, we opened, the other thing that I did by this screenshots is I zoomed in to the bottom right corner so we can actually read the messages, because otherwise the font will be very tiny. So I did a zoom in. So that's another advantage of doing these pictures rather than a live demo. All right. So if you open the chat window and you type in purchase song, once Melody, the AI, introduces herself, then it's going to say, please log in before you actually even can purchase a song, because right now we're not logged in. Then you go through the login. Sorry, I didn't know this was here. You go through the login process. You enter your username. It will send you a code in email. You take that code, so that's a one-time password, passwordless, whatever that technology wants to be called, and you log in. Okay. Now you'll see here on the top right that you're actually logged in. All right, good. Then we say, okay, purchase the song. You can say purchase song, purchase track, purchase music, purchase whatever. All right. So if you say purchase track, it will say, sorry, I do not know which track you want to buy, because as I say earlier, we're seeing albums. Each album has 20 songs. Which of those hundreds of songs are you buying? I don't know. You have to go and buy the song. So then we go into the album. We can go to Shakira herself, see her top albums, and select one of them, which is Waka Waka. This was one that she did for the World Cup, I think 80 years ago, maybe. All right. So then you are previewing the song because you don't own it yet. There's a timer here. It goes down to from 30 seconds. You're enjoying the free preview. But then you say, okay, purchase the song. And when you do that, it's going to try to upsell you. If you plan to buy more music, you can save 50% by purchasing a credit pack, 2 credits per dollar, right? Credits are available immediately, blah, 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 blah. So it tries to upsell you. And then you say, you know what? No, I want to pay $5 for not credits, because actually I don't have any credits. You see here, 0 credits. So I don't want to buy I don't want to purchase any credits yet. Just buy it with actual money. Right? It says, well, the purchase was successful. And you notice that the preview button changed from preview to play. The timer went away because now you own the song, and it says you're listening or you're watching this video because you actually purchased the track, right? All right. And it says you're paying with money. Next time you could use the credits, 2 credits. And I talk about but the UI being changed. So there's a connection between, and we'll talk about this. I'm going to talk about how I build it in a little bit. So there is a connection between the chat, the Agentforce, and the website. Whatever I did here, which was to purchase the song, modified the site to change the button into a play, not a preview. All right, and remove the timer stuff. But I can also purchase credits. So I can say purchase credits, and then it says your purchase of 50 credits have been successful. And you'll see that on your login, it also changed the website. Now the website says that you do have a 50 credits. All right. Then I go to a different song, say, okay, purchase this song. Says the purchase of the song was successful. Now you own it. And because you do have 50 credits, it automatically deducted 5 credits from your balance. So now you have 45. So it's the website interacting with the chat box, even though they are running. One is my Heroku web server, the other one is the Agentforce in that Salesforce server. But they talk to each other, and we'll talk about how later. You can also purchase a plan. What is purchasing a plan? You can say, okay, I want to listen to any song I want. I don't want to buy independent songs. I want to listen for any song I want for 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month. Those are the different plans that I sell. Now, again, I'm not collecting any money. This is not about making money or dealing with copyrights and all whatever you need to. Yeah. All right. So it's not really buying, but okay. So I want to purchase a plan. Then it asks me, okay, which plan you want to buy? And I'm gonna say I want to purchase the 1 hour pass because I'm gonna have a party tonight or whatever. I just want to listen to any song without having to keep buying it. All right. So your 1 hour pass has been purchased successfully. It is now active, and with a pass, you can listen to any song and you are not required to purchase it. You can not only preview, but the entire song. All right. So if I have my pass active and I say purchase track, a different track also from Shakira, of course, why not? Then it says you currently have an active music pass, so you don't need to purchase individual tracks. Actually, you're not allowed, based on my business requirements, business I made up for this demo. But my business requirement says if a user has a pass, they cannot buy a song because they already have it for free. Why buy it? Okay. Now you can actually add it to a CD. This part of the CD, it's actually not on the agent quite yet. It's only on the website, but it's because I haven't have time to actually build it. That's going to be the next feature I add to the agent. All right. So a few more things. You can also discover music. So you can say, what are the top jazz songs? And then it says, well, here are the top jazz songs. And the website updates with the same list. You say, take 5, so what, strange. Take 5, so what, strange. So there is a communication between the channel, the Agentforce, and the site. And then you can, of course, go to those songs and play them and do whatever you want. Or you can say, okay, what would you recommend if I want to dance? For that, go to these particular songs, right? So that's AI making those recommendations for you. All right. You can say, what are the best Shakira albums? So it will show you all the albums that Shakira has, right? There's a little bit of a bug here. I forgot to change the actual, make a pretty message. I was doing like a system that debug kind of thing with my agent. So it should look a little bit better. I noticed that it was this the other day when I was recording and arranging the slides. So that's also something I have to fix for this. But anyways, all right. What about RAG? Well, on the website, you have an FAQ and you have a knowledge base. So we can actually do RAG. Can I download music? And said, well, you cannot download music from Authority. You can only watch it online. You can purchase a CD, right? So it's able to do that. It also does a citation here for it saying that it's coming from the FAQ. Can I purchase a CD? It says, yeah, you can purchase a CD, blah, blah, blah. Do you ship anywhere? Yes, we ship anywhere, but you pay $20 for the CD, and then depending on where you're shipping that to, you have to pay additional $15 or 25 or 30 or whatever, depending on where you are. These are Mickey Mouse dollars because, of course, I'm not even collecting credit card stuff. I'm not really selling music. All right. Oh, support. Yeah, I was like, what is this about? The support. I have a problem. I have a problem. I need to create a case. That's what it is. All right. So I purchased a CD, but it has not arrived. Okay. Then, based on the knowledge base and the FAQ, it knows that if your CD has not arrived, then it can take about 15 days or 20 if you're international or whatnot. So be patient. And then I say, well, it has been more than 2 months since I purchased a song, CD, and CD is not here yet. Well, in that case, you probably do want to escalate the case. So then I say, okay, please escalate to a human. And it says your request is being escalated, blah, 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 blah. The human will actually deal with you or whatever. All right. Last thing that I want to show you on this one is you can actually load an image and have it recognized. So what I'm doing here is I take an album, any album, like this one, for example, and I save that image. I save it as a PNG. And then I go in the chat itself, and you can modify the header. That's something you can do with Meow or Enhanced Chat. And you can add menus here, and one of them is called Recognize the Album. So when you do that, there is going to be a modal dialog that opens and allows you to choose the file you want to recognize, which is the album that we just saved seconds ago. And you click open. And once it gets loaded, uploading the image, once it's finished uploading it, then it injects into the conversation a message that says, please identify the album in the uploaded image. A few seconds later, it will say, well, the album you uploaded, it's titled Shakira by Shakira. If you need more details, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then also you see that part of the response from the agent itself. All right, that is the demo I wanted to show you. I shrink time. I did a time machine just by taking screenshots and walking you through that. If you do want to play with the actual agent itself, you send me a DM, and I will I will give you a link to it. All right, cool. So back to the slides to try to understand how I actually built that amazing site. And one of the coolest things I highlighted a few times where that happens was that communication between something that happens in a server in Agentforce and how that affects my front end on for the website. So that's the web server to Agentforce integration part of that. Before I get into all the nitty bits, this is a high level, level 1 type of diagram of how the site, not the site itself, but the whole project is built. So give me 1 second. Let's see if I can do this. Let's try to move this to the side for now. So first of all, we have something on the browser, which includes basically 2 things. One is Meow, the chat box itself. And all the pretty website was done with Lightning Web Components. Yes, it is not running inside Salesforce. This is not a digital experience site. I could make it one. I decided to go and create an external website which runs on Dino. That's it's like Node, but a little bit modern language. The UI was built with Lightning Web Components. The web server that runs on Heroku, it's built on Dino. This is our JavaScript framework. It does have some APIs that can be invoked from the Lightning Web Components, and it calls some services. The service talks to Salesforce org through an Apex class, which I call the chat API. And also, another thing before I actually go further, I have 2 orgs. One is my Agentforce org, and one is my e-commerce org. Why do I have 2 orgs? This one is a Scratch org that I can generate at any time with the e-commerce part. When I first started building the agent, Scratch orgs didn't allow you to have Agentforce and Data Cloud in the Scratch orgs. Is difficult to do. It's possible, but difficult. And I didn't know how stable the solution was going to be, how many things I have to undo, redo, start over. I didn't want to touch this org for my Agentforce learning, so I decided to do it separately. If I was building a real project, that would be only one single org. Remember, I started working with Agentforce the day that it came out, December 5th, 2025. That's the day that we were actually able to play with it. Yeah. Anyways, so my web service, my server talks to a chat API, Apex, which has access to the data. The meow talks to the actual agent, NGA. Some of the actions are Apex actions. They do have a call directly into the commerce side where you have the data for the customers and the songs that are being played and how many credits they have and if they have passes and cases and all, basically the e-commerce side of that. I'm also using two very cool libraries. One is from YouTube to be able to display Shakira music or whoever, any other singer for that matter. And then Last FM, it's the handling the data for the actual songs. So what is the name of the album? What is the song? What's the duration of the song? Things like that. What genre they has, all that stuff is from the Last FM site. So this is how my website that I built actually works. All right. So as I was mentioned before, there's a bidirectional communication. I call this first slide, I call it to Agentforce. So if I navigate to a different page, to be able to determine if you're viewing a page and which page you're viewing, which song you're viewing, if you're going to buy it, which song is it the one that you're trying to buy. That is to Agentforce. How do I know if it is a song, not an album? Because you cannot buy an album. You can buy all the songs in the album, but not the album. If it is the artist, well, you cannot buy an artist. I mean, I guess you could book a concert or something like Dreamforce does every year, but that's going to be a little bit more expensive than just $20. So I don't know how much Shakira would charge for a concert, but I'm sure it's not cheap. All right, so that's the to Agentforce communication. So how that happens, it's first of all, when the conversation is open, when the chat window, when you click on the bottom right and you open the chat window, there's a series of JavaScript events that you can actually handle. One of them is called the messaging conversation opening. And one of the things that you get in there is a conversation ID. Okay. Now, from the messaging session, you can find the record based on the conversation, or maybe right here. You can get that based on that conversation ID. So it's not really the 1518 character Salesforce ID. It's it's like an external field. The external ID is called. All right. So I find the messaging session record that I want, and then I put some information in there. I put information from the website. So that's what WS stands for. I put who the user is. I put what is the current URL, and I put in here some additional information if I have to do that. Like if I'm viewing a song, which song I'm viewing, right? So a little bit more metadata. Then I update that record. And then in the NGA, when I am entering a user's utterance, one of the things that I do deterministically is that I run a action, which is basically a flow that reads this particular record, and now I have this information, which I get it from here, okay, and store it on this particular variable here, okay. All right, that's it. Now, when I need to do the from Agentforce to the website, like for example, when I purchase a song, I remove the 30 seconds timer and I'll let you play the whole song. When a list of songs are discovered, like jazz or dance or whatever we did in the demo, then show them on the site. So that's Agentforce to site or from Agentforce. And what it happens is, well, first of all, we're going to do something similar. We're going to work with the messaging session again. We're going to put some data. Now, this is from an action. That is something that basically means from Agentforce. And it says, okay, this song was purchased and maybe some information, whatnot. And then there's another JavaScript event that my chat window can actually listen to, which is when the message gets sent. And if the message is sent, then I look if it is a purchase action and what URL was the one that was purchased. And then I basically dispatch an event so that the website will do whatever it needs to do. All right, so that's that communication between Agentforce and the site to Agentforce. All right. So the next thing I want to show you is, and one of the reasons I built this site was to test to see if it would actually be deterministic enough for what I wanted. All right. So selling songs is a complex process. And I made it very, 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 very complex on purpose. I wanted to make something that was very, very deterministic. And you saw some of the rules. If you have a pass, you cannot. If you have a pass, you cannot buy a song because you already have a pass. You already have the rights to watch any song. If you have credits, oh, use your credits. If I will try to upsell you, all that stuff. All right. So the process to purchase a song, and this is the so these are the steps that are overview steps of buying a song. And this is the topic that deals with that. And this is basically how I got that determinism to work on my particular agent. We'll go a little bit later, next slide, step by step, but this is the overall picture. Well, first of all, you have to be authenticated, okay? Because if you're gonna buy a song, I need to know who you are. You must be on a song page. So if you're watching an album or an artist, you cannot buy a song. We're gonna try to upsell you, but only once and reset the timer or reset it every half an hour of inactivity. So if you don't do anything for half an hour and you say again, purchase song, you will be upsold again. That's a business decision that I made. Okay. Now when you're upselling, take a look at what the user has purchased. Have they purchased other songs? Have they purchased any passes in order to be able to upsell them to something better than what they already have? And then we decide what to upsell to. We can upsell to credits. We can upsell to passes. Good. Then we retrieve the prices from the commerce site. How much is a pass? How much is credits? How much is a song? So that I can calculate some benefits. You've already purchased 2 songs for $10. Do you know that if you buy one more song for $15, you could have got, right? Because I need to know how much stuff is, okay? And then we validate if the user can purchase a song. If you already purchased the song, you own the song forever. You don't have to buy it again. So if you own it, but you cannot buy it. And the other thing is, if you have a pass, you cannot buy it because we only sell, you can only buy if you don't have permission to listen to any song anytime. And then we decide, okay, are you buying with money or with credits? And this is basically the topic for that particular thing over there. All right, good. So this is a business process. I'm not, when I put this, I know that it's very, very small font. I do not pretend that you're able to read it. I need you to take a step back and look from a very high bird's eye view of this and see that there's a lot of steps. And it's a very complex process to actually purchase a song, okay? It's not just purchase song, done, boom. No, it's a lot of things we have to do. Now, what I'm going to do in the next slide is actually drill down into some of these sections and see how that affects the decisions that I had to make for my agent. So right now it's, oh my God, that's a very complex process. Yes, that's the idea of this particular slide. What it says in these books, I don't know, I don't care. But oh my God, that's a very complex process. Good. So if we start drilling down, we're going to see in here that the user wants to the user navigates to a page. When the user navigates to a page, just like we saw a few slides back, we're going to update the messaging session. Then, when the user says purchase song, purchase track, we're going to go into the topic selector, which is in AgentScript, the topic that runs after any utterance. And the utterance will check to see from the messaging session if the user is logged in and which track they are in and a few other things there, okay? So the user types in purchase a song, the Agentforce receives the request, and the executes the topic selector, which is my start agent. There's one topic, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, there's one special topic, which is called the start agent, which is the entry point to your agents. Then it runs a reset messaging session flow. There's a flow that runs, which reads the current value of the messaging session. And I do that right over here because maybe the user changed the page, right? So we need to know what is the current page. All right, so it reads the messaging session, checks to see if there's half an hour of inactivity, and then it changes the variable to true to say, yes, upsell the message because we have an upsell the user in half an hour of inactivity. If here as well, in the topic selector, if we know the user or the user is logged in, we then transition to specific topics, right? So SalesTrack in this particular case. If the user is not known, we transition to a different topic, which is, okay, you need to authenticate. Before I can do anything, you need to authenticate. Okay, all of this happening in this start agent topic. Okay, something like this. We first read the messaging session before taking any action so that we can get the current values. And then, depending on the user being authenticated or not, we are going to go into one of the topics. In this case, it will be the SalesTrack. Otherwise, we're going to go into authenticating the particular user. Or maybe just saying you need to be authenticated before you can do anything. All right. Then continue with the happy path. Then we move to the next step. And that's basically inside the SalesTrack topic. If the user is not in the track page, then it's going to transition to a topic called done. This is my own name. I could have called it done, finished, finito, terminado, whatever I wanted to call it. And it's basically saying, print whatever error messages you have and finish the whole thing. Like abort, like do an early return from a subroutine call. But if you're on the right page, then we're going to take a look at if you can be upsold based on you have been upsold before, you have not been upsold recently, and what are we going to upsell you to? Am I recommending you to buy credits or passes or anything else? Then we run another action, which is to check the prices. That would allow me to say, okay, you've purchased 2 songs. Each song is $5. So you've spent $10 in the last week. If you spend 10 more, then you can get a free pass or whatever, right? And if we are upselling, then we transition to a different topic where it's basically upselling and selling. Given that information we just found out, just dump it into the chat. We're moving on within the sales track still. Check to see if you can actually purchase the song, right? Remember, if you already own it, you can buy it again. If you have a pass, you cannot buy it again. Or you cannot buy it because you have a pass. Then check for validations, check to see if the owner of the user already owns it, if you are entitled to buy the song, all that stuff. Then it goes, if you're purchasing with money or with credits, then so that we can do the prompt accordingly. And then the end of this, the last step of that process being zoomed in, it's actually the purchase of the song itself. So execute, now this is from the LLM. The other executions of all the different actions are in the deterministic section of the execution of your topic, which maybe I should expand a little bit on that. I should probably have a slide for that. When the user types in an utterance, with the NGA, there's three phases of that execution of analyzing and replying to an utterance from the user. The first phase is deterministic. The second phase is the LLM. The third phase, which is called after reasoning, it's also deterministic. And you can put deterministic things before the LLM. You can put deterministic things after the LLM, which is a huge, huge difference from the legacy Agentforce, where there's not deterministic at all. So, and you can mix and match, and I'll show you that in the next screen. Maybe hopefully I'm not lying. Yeah, I'll show you that in the next slide. How you can actually mix and match and have deterministic, non-deterministic, and deterministic again. All right. So this part is the non-deterministic, asking the LLM to actually make some take some decisions. And it's funny, I've been speaking English probably half of my life. I've never got this straight, because in Spanish you take decisions, and in English you make decisions. All right, so here I made the decision. And I always have to think about it. I make the decision of doing through the LLM just to see how they could actually be mixed and get that working. You could have done it, all of it, like in a non-deterministic fashion, but sometimes you also need to rely on the LLM, especially if you need to parse the utterance that the user is writing, okay? And because sometimes when you want to pass parameters to your actions, you put a triple dot, means Agentforce, you figure out what the value is. That's basically what these three dots is. So it has to go through the LLM to figure that out. So it needs to be during the deterministic, the non-deterministic, during the LLM section of this. All right. So moving to the next slide. This is basically what we just talked about, the process. This is the SalesTrack topic. We check to see if you're in a particular track, because if you're in an album, you're on an artist, you cannot buy a song. So if you're not in a track, then I'm going to put something into a variable, which I'm calling a prompt. Okay, you could call it whatever. This is my custom variable. And I'm basically saying some type of phrase in here, and then transition to a topic. Okay. This variable will be available inside this topic. And in the topic, I basically say, okay, follow the instructions and write a message for that. That's basically what it does. Notice this is deterministic. I'm running here the deterministic part of it. Here's another deterministic. This is the one that will do the upselling. This is the one that is going to check for prices. This is one that if I am upselling, then I transition to the upsell once I have the prices. So I decide if I'm going to upsell and to what. I check the prices, and then I transition so that the upsell will say, give me some numbers for my benefits. And then in here, I'm actually going to do a pre-validation of the purchase. So they're trying to buy this, this user is trying to buy this song, and they may have access or not. So I set some additional variables here. I have another one in here that if it is not successful, then I say, so something failed. And to the prompt, same variable I was using here. And then I transition to my done topic. What line is this? 361. Oh, yeah, it's continuous right over here. Now, this is also something important to understand. This pipe character here, no, actually, let me rewind a little bit. Actually, I'm going to go off topic for a little bit and come back in a few seconds. From Apex, unrelated of this topic. Yes, I'm changing the topic I'm changing the conversation for a little bit, so don't get lost, please. In Apex, you can do a SOCL query to retrieve data, and you have two options of writing SOCL query. And Sally, this is a developer's channel. She promised me, so talking about Apex and SOCL call, it's cool. Everybody's good with that. So to get a SOCL query and get some data from Apex, you have basically two options. You can put the SOCL query inside a square brackets. That is static. Or you can create a string called mySOCL and start putting a SOCL, start assembling at runtime, start concatenating pieces so that you're building your SOCL query, and then you do a database that query to actually go to a database and bring that data back. Okay? I want you to understand that concept because that's basically what we're doing here. My topic is executing from top to bottom, one line after the other one. It continues here. It's too long, so I had to do it on two pages or whatever. So then it gets to this point. This square bracket, did I just say square bracket? This pipe character, that vertical bar, it's doing the same thing as the dynamic. It's doing something conceptually similar to what we did with the SOCL query. It is doing something dynamic. And this is really, really, really important. And one of the coolest things, and probably the one that nobody's really talking about yet. In the legacy Agentforce, your instructions are static. You work with Agentforce legacy, you write your instructions, all the instructions, static. You don't change them at runtime. With the NGA, you do change them at runtime. You have that, the same thing as the dynamic SOCL query. You have that in here. And this is what we're doing. This line is saying, append this to the prompt that I'm gonna execute once I finish with my pre-processing. Okay, so we do three phases. One is pre-processing, that is running every single line one by one, collecting prompts, but I'm actually only going to add this to a prompt if the sales track label is true. I don't remember what it does right now, but if it is true, I'll just say, okay, this is the truck you're buying. I'm doing something similar here, conditional. I'm appending to my prompt only if you can purchase. Okay, user is eligible to purchase the truck, and this is the reason. They don't own it or whatever. If they're not available, then I transition to this other topic. Okay, now you cannot build prompts in this topic and use it on a different topic. As soon as you transition to the other topic, the whatever you have been collecting is erased and restart. That's why I'm putting stuff in a variable. And in the transition, in the topic done, I pick that stuff from the prompt and I just basically print that into the screen. Okay, so I'm actually doing the dynamic prompting here, which is really, really important. And then here is if I'm paying with credits or with money. And here is I basically execute the action. Oh, actually, well, first I collect more stuff from the prompt, and then I finish my pre-processing. All that stuff is deterministic. Then I go to that was pre-processed. Okay, I did from top to bottom in order collecting prompts and all that stuff. Then it's my it's my non-deterministic, my AI, my LLM execution, where whatever I collected on the prompt, I'm gonna send that prompt that I built dynamically to the LLM, and it comes back with an answer. And I could, I'm not doing it here because I don't think there was a need for it, but I could also do some after reasoning. Is when it comes back from the LLM with the prompt resolved, I can take additional steps. I haven't had the need to build anything like that yet, but AgentScript gives you the ability to do that. All right, good. I think I was talking about this. I forgot I had some animations, but basically we talk about all that stuff. No, we didn't talk about this one. I'm glad I had the animation. So this one says, okay, I want you to, hold on, give me 1 second. My computer's not working. It's not behaving the one I wanted. Okay, good. So one of the things that I'm doing here, it's and pro is not now I start speaking. I have to finish my sentence. In the LLM, in the prompt, I'm saying execute this action, and then I do, this is the syntax to indicate an action. Notice that I cannot pass parameter. Let's say this is an Apex method. And with this syntax, I cannot pass parameters to that method. I cannot assign variables when it comes back from that. That's what the topic, sorry, did I just say topic? The reasoning actions do for you. So this is pointing to that. And in here, I can put the parameters and the return variables. Okay, so this width are my parameters. And this is what it gets returned. And I set that into different variables. But notice that this guy here, and it's not on the screen, unfortunately, but this doesn't say if it is an Apex or a flow or a prompt template. It's about passing the parameters and receiving the parameters. And you must have these reasoning actions when you want to do this type of syntax. When you do this type of syntax to invoke your method, you just do it when you're defining the actual method in one single block. Here you need two blocks. You need this block and you need this block. And in the same way that when we were saying, okay, run this, is that an Apex? It could be. Is that a flow? It could be. Is that a prompt template? It could be. Is that it could be. Similar in here. Is that it could be. So the actions, the topic actions, and indentation is very, very important here. The topic actions are the ones that are going to tell you you are connected to an Apex method, and you need these variables, and it's going to return these values here. All right, we kind of talked a little bit about that 2 weeks ago. I just wanted to probably point it out a little bit. All right, now not every topic is as complicated. I made one very, very complicated. I made the decision of making it very, very, very complicated because I wanted to see if it would be able to handle it. And it does handle it, and it handles amazingly well. Oh, and I just noticed this is probably a little bit better example of what I was talking about earlier with the actions and the syntax. So this topic, buying credits, these are my instructions. Users can purchase a pack of 50 credits for $25 using this particular action. And for that, you're going to need the product code. Okay? Not ifs, not runs, not every action, not every topic needs to be as complicated. Now, these actions, as we were talking about before, and the action here is called purchase credit, you cannot pass parameters, you cannot receive parameters back. That's why you need the reasoning actions. And here we only have one reasoning action, which is this one. It takes these parameters and it returns these values. The triple dot means, okay, you figure out what the code is during the LLM execution. And it's probably going to take it from here. That's the package, credit 50 package. I just made that up. Credit pack 50 units or whatever. And that's going to be that. So it's figuring out from either the instructions here or maybe from the utterance. In this particular scenario, it's actually been picking up from here. But it could be picking up also from what the user types. And then this action is actually, no, right over here on the bottom after I scroll. I don't know if it is visible in here because some Zoom stuff is covering my screen. Nope. It's not. So maybe lines a little bit later will tell you it is an Apex class and the method and stuff like that. And these are the parameters that goes in, and this is the data that comes back. So a very simple topic. Another one is to do the discovery. A little bit more fancy, of course, because I need more things from the LLM. I let the LLM decide what are the best jazz music songs because, of course, the LLM will know better than what I do. But I could ask, what are Shakira's albums? And if it is giving you the name of an artist or an album or something like that, then it's gonna do find them by name. If I say, okay, I want to listen to jazz or I want to listen to music to study, so it's not the name of an artist, it's just something generic, then I do it by the description with the help of a prompt template. So this is an Apex class, and this one is the Apex class, Apex method. All right. Going a little bit deeper. How are we doing on time, Sally? How much more?
We have 20 more minutes.
20 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll try to do this quickly so that we have a little bit of time for the Q&A, because I see that there's a lot of messages coming through. All right, cool. All right. So this cheat sheet, how do you access stuff from AgentScript? How do you reference variable? Wrong thing. How do you reference variables? How do you reference actions? What are your outputs or your inputs? How do you transition to topics? There's two types of transitioning. There is actually go to the topic or ask the topic to help you with something. So one is you go and you don't return. The other is you go and you return. Right, so how do you transition from that? What about filters? How do you do filters with AgentScript? What about logic? Okay, what about adding things into a prompt or just running something more deterministic, different operators, and of course there's a link here for much more. And all right, this also table cheat sheet helps you with the different things. This is how you escalate to a human, transition to a topic, or delegate to a topic, which can return. And how do you set your variables? Can you put, do they support description? Do they support filters? Do they support width? Where does it work? Does it work on the reasoning actions or the reasoning instructions? And some sample. Okay, so I did a cheat sheet here for you guys to use. When you're dealing with topics, you can either transition or delegate. And I always like pictures, so I drew a picture here. This is a transition. You're on topic A, you go to topic B, you go to end. That's it. Delegation, from A, you ask something out of B. B will tell you something, and then you continue in A until you finish. Okay, so this is one way, there's two ways. This is like calling a method and getting some information. Take these numbers and add them and give me the result back or something. All right. And this is kind of the way that it works. You can either transition to a topic here, or you can actually transition to a topic here. And these are a few more notes on AgentScript. I covered this slide 2 weeks ago because I was kind of part of that particular topic. The start agent is the most important topic of all. Every time a user types an utterance, hit enter, it will go through this topic, which must be, if you want to do something every single little time that the user interacts with you, checking to see if they're authenticated, this is the place. If you need to do something most of the time, but not all the time, then don't do it here. This should be light and fast. You indicate the topics here, but notice that these topics, SalesTrack, authenticate, and done, they are not these type of topics here. So I haven't heard a word for it yet, so I'm just giving it my own word. You have macro topics and micro topics, or maybe subtopics. The SalesTrack will be a transition from the SalesTrack, but not a transition from a start agent. So that will be a subtopic, not a macro topic. Another really, really cool thing that Agentforce does for you is that it will give you a good trace of everything that is happening. So whenever you enter a utterance and the agent gives you an answer, you're going to see here a list of the things that happened very briefly. You can say, okay, did I transition to a sales track? Okay, good. Did I went to the upsell track? Oh, yeah, okay, good. This is basically the LLM generating a paragraph from this information here. But if you want to drill down and see exactly what happened each step of the way, then you have the trace, which will give you a full list. And you can actually click on a particular row, and it will tell you here what actually happened on that particular step. That was not really as powerful with the legacy agent as well. All right. This is the prompt that I populate, that I assemble, and it goes to the LLM. But most of it's system stuff. So yeah, I'm not gonna read it right now. I'm not gonna pretend to read it right now. But some of this stuff is just system stuff, and at the end you put your own prompts to it, and then the whole prompt goes to the LLM and comes back. Okay, and that's it. Thanks for watching, but there's quite a few questions.
Yeah,
So
I collected them for you in the chat, and
I'm gonna stop sharing so we don't have an infinite mirror. Well, thanks for the clapping. All right. How do you handle? Okay, first questions. I'm gonna go through each question, Sally. You tell me when it's time to shut up and wrap this and hang up the call, please.
I'm okay. I'm okay. And if you have time, and like we are not covering all the questions, if you want to stay longer, up to you.
I don't mind staying longer.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
It's early in the morning for me because I'm on the Pacific.
Okay.
Today I'm on Seattle, so my only concern is lunch, which is still too early for me anyway. All right. How do you handle that actions in agent update the website UI? I think we talked about that one. Maybe that was during the demo, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Is the new builder beta available now for employee agent? And the answer is yes, it is available right now. If you go into an org, I don't think I have an org open. I'm just gonna talk about it. If it needs to drill down, I will probably open and do more. But yeah, when you go into so for the Agentforce legacy, you go through the setup menu. This is one of the things that they decided to overcomplicate. But if you want to do NGA, you go into like the regular menu. The same place which your accounts, contacts, cases, leads, whatever, like the front page and the back page, right? So the front page, there's something called Agent Studio. When you click new, now there is a template there that allows you to click it and select that you want an employee agent, and it will do that. There's a couple of lines that changes from the AgentScript, but other than that, it's pretty much the same idea. No, so I think I answered that. Okay, number 3. Is there a way to reuse the same Oh, I think this comes from you, Sally. I
This
think
one is mine, yeah.
oh, I smell it. Sally and I, we have been working quite a bit on talking about Agentforce a bit. All right. So, is there a way to reuse the same topic or the same action across multiple agents? Not in the same way that it was available in not in the same way that it was available in the legacy Agentforce. In the legacy Agentforce, you created a topic globally, and then you brought that into your Agentforce, but you actually get a copy of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the same idea. You copy the topic. It's just text if you look at the Agentforce script, the agent script, and you just paste that. In the future, safe harbor, all that stuff, we're gonna have something that's called SOMA and MOMA. So what is that? SOMA, single org multiple agent. So you're gonna have A2A within different agents. So maybe that would be a way that you can actually reuse it without having to duplicate and change one, but then remember to change the other one, stuff like that. So, but not yet. It's still on the roadmap. Okay. Number 4. Is there a way to control the response messages to the agent? Use prompt templates for the response in a way. Yes, Prompt templates are actually, in this particular demo that I went through with you guys, there is a prompt template to help me find jazz music or music to dance or to have dinner or whatever. So that will help you formulate it. A way to control the response messages to the agent. That will have to be an LLM to generate the messages, and it will be non-deterministic. So you cannot say you could give some instructions, but of course it's going to be non-deterministic. So the answers will always be very similar but different. So that's a little bit of a difficulty if you want to have exact, precise words for every single response. All right, number 5. How can we add custom lining types to the new builder for custom lining with components UI? All right, so yeah, this is something that I'm planning to do for my next iteration of this demo. One thing I want to do is I made a demo that was generic enough that I will be able to explore a lot of different use cases. One of the use cases is to recognize the picture of an album. The way that I implement it right now is really hacky, and it's not the way that I really wanted to do it. For that, I'm thinking with a lining type, I can have a lining web components that is part of the message, and then it rendered itself. But in order to use lining types, you have to use Enhanced Chat version 2, not just version 1, version 2. But with version 1, you could actually replace your output elements or your input elements, not as flexible, but you could use lining web components to change the way that users enter information or get information back. The thing is, that will be very generic and it will be for every single prompt. So you gotta be a little bit careful with that. Much easier to work with lining types and Enhanced Chat version 2, which it gives you the really nice benefit of allowing you to do custom UI, but you lose on other things. I believe that Enhanced Chat version 2 does not have pre-chat fields, for example, if that's something that you're interested in, or some other feature. There's a table, it's a long table of things that, yes, you gain lining types, but you lose a lot of different things. So that's a really important trade-off that
And
you have to
Andres,
consider.
like, would you be able to share the link for any resources related to that so I can add it to the video description later on? Like, we don't have to do it right now.
Later, yeah, I'm not gonna search for anything right now,
Yeah,
but later, yes, I have all that information. And like, if you guys are here with me in the room, great, or in the virtual
yeah.
room, great. If you're watching this recording, same way goes, DM me, and I will be able to give you all that stuff. So, Sally, I'm actually gonna ask you to either remind me later or something
Okay,
because I will forget, or
for
DM
sure.
me or something because I will forget. But yes, I will share. I have my own notes where I know exactly what it is, but not right now. All
Okay.
right. Good. Updating the header will be available only for service agent through Meow, or can it be available for employee agents? No, it's only for Meow. It's only for that. Or other workaround for employee agents is lining types. I think that was an answer, not a question, to the previous answer. Yeah, I did a little bit of a hacky way by replacing the header. All right. Is Meow Chat the same as embedded deployment? Ooh, that's a kind of wow, that's a difficult one. No, it's not the same, but it is part of it. So when you want to have your enhanced, no, when you want to have your Agentforce on a website, either Heroku, as I did on the demo, or Digital Experience, or maybe Visual Force for that matters. You have to set Meow, and I think Meow is a big umbrella. With Meow, you have to configure the messaging channel and the embedded deployments. So all of that is part of Meow, but some people may talk about it in different granularity. But what I understand is Meow is the overall, and then you have embed. No, actually, yeah, something like that. Yeah, meow is a big umbrella for this particular scenario, at least. And then you have embedded messaging, embedded deployment, and the messaging sessions. All right, number 8. How would you decide? No, how would decide if you go with flow action versus apex action? Um, all right, good. Okay, that's a good question. How do I decide? How do I decide if I want to build apex or if I want to build with flow? There is different answers for that. Salesforce recommends, and I agree to an extent, that you always want to do flows before you do Apex. Flows are easier to build and to maintain than Apex. For Apex, you don't need a developer. For flows, a advanced builder can actually work with the flows. There are some things that you cannot do in Flow that you can only do in Apex. I think that's probably going to be a better answer. One of them is if you want to have a SOCO query that it brings information from accounts and contacts in one single SOCO query, you cannot build that with two objects, any two objects. I gave you an example with flows. But of course, you can do it with Apex and actually involved more than just two objects. If you want a dynamic SOCO query, you have to go through Apex. There's no way to build dynamic SOCO queries with flows. So there are some limitations. I actually had, I don't know if we ever recorded that, but many Dreamforces ago, I actually had a session that I built on when to go from flows to Apex. Sally, that would probably be a good
Yeah.
session to build together if you don't have anything like that on your channel.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, maybe we can have this as a separate session, and if
Yeah.
you are like willing or you have time, it
Yeah.
would be great to have you over again for this.
It will be amazing to be
That
with
would
you
be
on that
great.
one as
Thank you.
well. I don't know if I ever recorded it, but we can record. We can review it. Maybe things have changed because they do every week
Yeah.
around here. Okay, can you explain to us more on LinkedIn variables and how we can know what are the available options to use? The linked variables. All right. So for that, I'm gonna now if there's the need, I'll probably do a demo. There's two types of variables. One are linked variables and one are custom variables. Um, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to share my screen again. And let's go here and variables. And we can close this little baby here. Did I just switch to a different? This project is made of multiple pieces. So I have multiple options here. This is my Agentforce. This is my web server, Dino, and this is my e-commerce. So it's on this one here. All right. So we have different variables. We have linked variables. These are system variables and read only. Okay. Mutable are your variables, which are custom variables for the most part, and they can change. They are mutable. Salesforce will tell you, and there's going to be documentation. I don't know if there's anything publicly available yet on what are the different variables that you have here. But when you create a agent or a service agent, did I just say agent? When you create an employee or a service agent, it will give you the variables that you have, and then you can just play with that. But I'm not exactly sure if they have been documented out yet.
I think the question is because, with the old builder, we used to open the context window and we could see like what are the available options for the variables. So I think the question reasoning was maybe is there a way to say like what are the options or we have to know them by heart or
No, you don't know. Oh God, no, no. I have really, really bad memory. I don't even remember what I have for breakfast this morning. It's
yeah.
only 2 hours ago. So much less I'm gonna remember the names of all those variables. But when you create the agent, they will be popular and you can just
Oh, okay.
grab them from there. And I am sure there will be, well, I am trusty, I guess it would be a word, because it doesn't depend on me. I'm trusted that they will actually document all that stuff. Right now it's beta, so that's also part of the things that they will be releasing.
Yeah, that's fine.
So let me try something here. Can I share my screen and see the comments at the same time? Yeah, okay, right over here. Let's put on here. And sorry. That was number 9.
Do you want me to read the question for you if it's
No, no,
easier?
number 10.
Okay.
I just got a little bit lost because anyways, I'm good. Number 10. When you had unembedded messaging conversation opened, adding this event listener, where is that happening? Website to Agentforce communication slide. All right, so let's take a look at my web server. This is Lightning Web Components, but running on Heroku, right? So you're missing one file here, which is the XML, because that's the only file that it's not required when you're working with Lightning Web Components outside of that. There are many different components. One of them is the enhanced chat, which is the one that initializes the iframe where the chat window is gonna go for Agentforce. And in here, so this is a JavaScript for your web page. And here we have on embedded, okay, right here. So I'm gonna add a listener. It's not the one I was looking for. It's not the one I'm being asked, but conversation, because it was conversation opened. Opened right here. So in here, I get the conversation ID from the details. This is what I show you on the slides. This is on the JavaScript, which is Lightning Web Components, but it does not run in Salesforce. It runs on Heroku. Actually, not even running on Heroku. It runs on the browser because it's front end. But it's hosted in Heroku. Like this code is from my web servers, from my Dino web server. So I have middleware. I have server. Okay, this is my Node. This is my Dino server. So maybe I should probably see something here like localhost. All right. So this is my server. I have my Lightning Web Components modules here, and there's the enhanced chat, and that's the conversation open. That was question number 10.
Yep.
All right. Adding this event listener, where is happening? Website. Okay. Number 11. Would you be able to share the AgentScript with us? Good question. I don't know about that one yet. Because the AgentScript is probably not not useful without the website and the e-commerce site and all the custom metadata that I have on the agent. So I'm not exactly sure how useful that will be. I'm actually thinking of asking permission to Salesforce, because I work for Salesforce and I have to ask for permission if I'm allowed to build a 20 hours course where we learn how to build an agent. If I'm allowed to, you'll hear that from me on LinkedIn, because I'll be announcing it. We'll make a very, very detailed course. I'll publish it somewhere on Udemy or a different platform and sell the course or something. So I have to ask for permissions for that. At that point, we can actually build together the agent, learning all the tricks of how you communicate between the different things, and you get to do it, you get exercise it all. So I'm thinking about building that complex. It's going to be a huge project for me. So, but I have to ask permissions first. Drop me a note if you're interested and maybe convince me that I should do it. All right. That was 11. Number 12. Love the diagram. What tool do you use to create the diagram? That was for the business process. I'm thinking that's what the question was about. I'm thinking it's this little baby
Yeah,
here.
it was during this slide. And
Where's my speaker notes? Let's move this guy here. Here's the URL for that. It's a tool that I found while I was trying to build the slides for it and stuff. It's called Camunda.io. If that works, so this is another link that we can actually share later. I have to log in,
sure,
whatever.
yeah, I
That's
put it
another link that
in
we
my
can
note.
actually log in.
Mhm.
Well, another link that we can share on the channel, whatever. All right,
Sure.
love the diagram. That's 12. Number 13. Oh gosh, I don't like 13. Bad luck number. 13. Let's see what it says. Can we get one more redo of the communication from website to Agentforce? And yeah, of course, you can watch this video 20,000 times. All right, good. Can we use AgentScript for anything other than the service channel? Yeah, of course, it's employee as well. Do you have any step-by-step guidance or trailhead? No, we don't have anything of that yet. We've been in the community. I've been another video, and I know Sally's doing some stuff on that as well. And yeah, and we're starting to share that type of information. Can we use AgentScript for anything other than service channel? Yeah. Do we have any step-by-step or guidelines, trailhead? There is and Sally, you're building a series of videos about the um, demos, templates,
Yeah, the
what do you call
recipe is shared
it?
by
Recipes,
Salesforce. Yeah.
recipes for that. All
So the
right, so
plan
stay
is to go
tuned.
through one by one and
Yeah,
explain one by one and try it.
yeah. So Sally's doing a little bit of that. Thank you for doing that, Sally.
Thank you.
All right. So can we access the trace window for agent login?
It's a how, I think. They were
How
asking.
can we access the trace window for the agent login? All right, so let me try doing something here. I'm gonna go into this one. I'm gonna open the org. Gotta go into here. Hopefully it gets here. Minimize this. Move this to the bottom. It's not working. Let's try it again. Let's do this. Let's open. All right. So actually, maybe I can show you one thing that I wanted to show you before that. When you create a new agent, oh yeah, I think it was a new agent. Oh, it's not there yet. There will be here, depending on the version that you're working with on Salesforce, or maybe it's not even released yet, safe harbor.
Mhm.
There will be here a button that allows you to click and get into the employee agent. So I guess I lied. I said that there was one. It will be one. All right, I've seen it, but not on this org. All right, so this is the agent that we work together. I show you different pieces, different relevant pieces out of here. You can actually do a preview. Do you guys see all these pictures of webcams and stuff from Zoom, or is it just me?
No, it's just you. We don't
Okay,
see.
good. All right, so I'm gonna move it over here, then it doesn't bother me. And you probably don't see this bar here either. All right, so if I say hello to a Melody, that's the name of my agent. It's always a good idea to give it a name, funny name, I think, or maybe a serious name, but indicate that this is a AI. That's one of the ethical principles, one of the things that I'm teaching. Oh, I don't know why. I don't know. Oh, I know why. So when you run it, and then Shoot. Let me do something here. This guy must be on preview. It must be commented when you say preview. Probably we need to make a new draft. Okay. So too many things. I was sorry. I was not prepared for this. So I have it in stage that is probably not workable. But when you run your agent, and you say hello, once the agent comes alive and Melody says hi, everybody say hello, Melody. I'm just kidding. All right. So thanks, Hilda, for laughing at my jokes. You've been laughing at everyone's I've been saying this morning. All right, so here you have the trace of what happening in that, which I think was the question that was being asked. So it's on the trace when you run it from the builder.
So they don't have to click on anything on the interaction details. It just appears, the trace itself.
It just appears if you just click on the trace itself.
Okay.
But here's the interesting follow-up question. What about those sessions that the users are actually running on a deployed agent? Because this is when you're testing it. Where do you get this information from an active? So let's say I'm a user, I'm using your agent, and it fails, and I call you and say, I tried your agent, it doesn't work. Where do I get this information from? Well, that information is stored on something that's called the STDM, Session Tracing Data Model, which is our objects in Salesforce. And then you can do very complex queries using Data Cloud to get information from 20 different objects to get that information into and analyze it. But there's reports, out-of-the-box reports, and then you also have the I think, optimization. You can get your insights and you can see different history, but then it's kind of difficult to know which messaging session that was. So one thing that I did in this project, and I would probably, that would be one of the things that I would add to the course if I ever build one. I have my own app, El Toro IT music store, and I have a tab for messaging sessions. And if I go into a messaging session like this one, and this is the users actually running them. So I have 110. These are all tests that I've done in this org. All right, so if I go to one of them.
So it doesn't need Data Cloud, Andrés, like to access this messaging sessions?
Hold on, let me finish my thought then. Then I have a tab with a custom Lightning web component that I built that gives you all the information that trace window would actually have given you, which is attached to this particular messaging session, which is basically on the URL over here. So you can see this from history. Now, this data is being extracted from Data Cloud, Sally.
Okay.
So it's not stored in Salesforce, it's stored in Data Cloud. And you don't use a SOCL, you need to use a SQL statement to get it. And my Lightning component is doing this. And we will build these and many other different things that I've learned throughout my time playing with AgentScript in that course. That's why it would be a very long course. Not enough time on couple hours every other 2 weeks to talk about that. All right. So I lost the chat. I lost the questions. What was number 14? Where were we?
We finished 15. You're on 16 now.
Let's do 16.
Ding.
Is beta? I'm sorry, Sally.
No, I was double checking. Yeah, we are on 16. Sorry.
16. Is beta version of NG's? I think you're talking about NGA, Next Generation Agentforce. Oh, no, there's something else. What is called V2? It's beta version of NGA now called V2. I don't even know what that question is asking about. We have something called Enhanced Chat version 2, which is required for Lightning types. That's the version 2 that I can think of. And I'm assuming NGC is Next Generation Agentforce. All right, 17. By when new Agentforce available for GA? Well, I'm not the person to say that, but it's on the roadmap and it will be here soon. Do we need to update 18? Do we need to update existing agent with new framework? Will Salesforce provide tool conversion? This is a question actually I've heard quite a bit. And Salesforce has one answer which I do not like. It's yes, there will be a tool to convert your agents from legacy agent into AgentScript. But I don't like that. And I wish there were never a tool because you're going to get non-deterministic agents with AgentScript. The idea of AgentScript is that you can build deterministic agents, and they are built different than what regular agents are. A lot of the customers, I've heard this, I've seen this, I've suffered this personally. With the legacy Agentforce, when you write your instructions for your topics, you are begging the LLM, and yes, you heard me, begging the LLM to do what you want it to do. And he said, yeah, please, LLM, do this, but first check this, then do this. And you just hope that it will do that because it's not deterministic. The idea, and if you bring those instructions, well, the new Agentforce is going to work exactly the same thing. What you need to do is build with the tools that you're given now, build agents which are much more deterministic. And I have seen, even in the recipes, they do a lot of that. They rely heavily on the LLM. And that's relying on something that is not deterministic and is going to eventually fail. The approach that I took was actually using the deterministic aspects of the NGA to build that. So I guess if they do ever, which they will, build a tool, you could probably convert your agents from legacy into NGA so that you can start fixing them. But not so that you're done, right? So that you can start fixing it. It's like when they deprecated workflows and workflows, they created a tool to convert your workflows into flows, right? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
All right. But that will give you something that you can actually start working with. That's not going to be the end product. And I think it's probably going to be the same thing. It's just because they conceptually, they're completely different. So a tool will not be able to give you that, I don't think. 19, is there a different link to create an Agentforce dev org that has access to NGA? As far as I understand, and little parenthesis, I have a Salesforce employee, and I'm very lucky that I can just create any org when I want to do and refresh it and extend it as easily as I can. But that's only for me or anybody who works in Salesforce for that matter. For customers, I believe that any developer org that you get now will be available with Agentforce. There was a time where you had some developer orgs with and some developer orgs without, but I think, please correct me if I'm wrong. There used to be a special link to get the one with Agentforce. But I think nowadays any dev org will have both anyways. All right. 20, how to deploy the agent from org to org. I'm going to answer that question by showing you. Where did it go? By showing you this. Okay, this is my SFDX project. Let's actually maybe collapse it. I have an SFDX project with a different org. So this is just like regular one. I have a folder here with my Epics classes. I have a folder here with my flows. And I have one folder here with Melody version 7, which is my agent. So you can just deploy this to a server that you are connected to. Easy peasy.
And Andres,
All
do
right.
you still need to deploy Gen AI functions and Gen AI planner
No,
bundles,
no,
or
no, no.
can you?
That's the legacy
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
And everything well, you do need to deploy bot. That you do.
Mm-hmm.
The bot you do. But not the Gen AI. Differently from legacy, your whole agent is in one single file. Here you have different folders, different pieces, different files. It's a little bit of a mess. But with the new AgentScript, even if you build it on the canvas, because that's something really cool as well with NGA. When you're building a flow, there's no button to see the apex that the flow is writing, primarily because when you're building a flow, you're not building an apex class. They're independent. But with Agentforce, actually, let me do something here. Let me get this guy in here, and I'll put it here. All right, so when you are with the Agentforce, something that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, you can just easily switch between script and canvas. And for any type of your agent, you can actually do this in canvas, or you can do this on script. And actually, yesterday during class, one of my students asked me, so which one you use, script or canvas? My answer is yes. And he was having an issue because he was trying to write something in here and trying to make up some things. Well, it was very, very easy to actually switch to the canvas and create a new action. And once we did this, 3 clicks and he was done. But when he was trying to do it with code, there were too many things that you have to remember, syntax and stuff. So yeah, so I actually work with both, especially when I'm trying to create a new action. I do it through the canvas, which is much, much, much easier. So I need to give it a name. Okay, maybe we'll know with the comma. You need to give it a name. What's happening now? Oh, right here. And then you select if you want to do an apex or a flow or a prompt template. And if it is an apex, what is the apex actually method you want to do? He was trying to figure out all these words that needs to be here, but when we did it on script, he was trying to figure all this syntax and stuff. It's like, no, do it through the canvas. Oh, I'm a coder. I don't care. Do it through canvas. All right, so let me actually delete that. All right. Where were we?
And the last question on 21st, and I check the chat.
21st, how to deploy. Okay, we got that one. What is the commit version? This button in Agentforce to deploy the... Oh, maybe more than one. Now just show up as 22nd. So what is the commit version? Okay. This one.
Yeah, it came when you were showing the agent, yes.
Yeah, I'm actually not 100% why there's the need for it, but you can actually, the way that you work with this is you start making changes to it, you test it, you make some changes, you test it, then you commit to that version. Okay. Actually, let me get rid of this guy as well. Then you commit to that version. You click this, and then you can activate it. You cannot activate it without committing to the version. Why is that extra step required? I don't know. That's a really good question.
And Andres,
but it is required so that you can activate it.
And where do you activate it from? Like, we don't see deactivate like the old agent.
Okay, so let me actually get out of my agent here before I keep breaking it. Although my original copy it's in VS Code and it's backup in GitHub and all that stuff, so it's probably not a big deal. All right, so I have my hello world. I call this the order pizza. Okay, Very simple agent. The only thing it does is helps the user order pizza. It calls a flow. Where's the flow? It calls a flow, which orders pizza. It just basically receives a variable and sends back saying pizza has been ordered. And that's my help. That's my my tester. All right. So let's suppose I'm working with it. I can make some changes here. Once I'm done with it, I can say, okay, I want this copy to be saved. So then I commit a version. Are you sure you want to commit this version? Yes, I do. Or yes, I am. And, oh, hold on. Let's try it again. Failed to populate outbound route config from messaging com section. Oh, shoot. Save. Commit. Let's see if that's gonna do it. All right, now I can activate it. And I'm not allowed to make any more changes to it. If I want to make some changes to it, I need to create a new draft. That will be the next version, whatever happens to be. So this one's gonna be version 3. Okay. I committed to version 1, I committed to version 2 and activated, and I'm now working on version 3. I make some changes and I repeat that. I click commit, and then I click activate. And then if I want to make changes to it, I need to create a new draft that will be version 4, and so on. The loop goes
So,
on.
Andrews, the best practice is not to deactivate and just update. Like, we have to create a new draft, like, because in
Well,
the old
right now,
agent, you could deactivate and just update it.
okay, so if I go back to my active one, I'm not allowed to make any changes to it. I don't have a save button.
But if you
So
deactivate it, would it allow you to do
if I
changes?
deactivate, that's oh wait, hold on. What happened?
It's saying enough. Andrew's been
I
here
know,
long
yeah,
with us.
go to have lunch. Deactivating this agent disable it. Okay, yeah, deactivate it. And make changes to it, and I don't have a save button.
Oh, okay.
So I have to have a new draft. I can make a new draft that will be version. That may be something quite interesting also that I learned, because I work with, it's very easy to make changes to the agent on the browser and on VS Code at the same time, and they conflict to each other. Like I start doing something here, and then I go to VS Code, do something else, then I come back here. So what I decided to do was actually, every time you create a new version, no, actually so this is the 7th version of my agent, and I call it Melody 7. This is the, I probably just created a new draft today, but if I go into, probably while I was doing a demo or something today. If this is version 11, this is only my numbers. This is one of the many things that I learned while working with this, trying to be a little bit more smart. So Melody 7 is version 7. This is version 11 of the version 7. And every time I make a change here or in the VS Code, I increase this last number. Because sometimes you are kind of testing it and you say, oh crap, I made a mistake. So let's go back in here and fix this something here. And now your VS Code and VS Code and this builder here are 2 different versions. So having a good numbering system or good convention is actually a good idea. All right. Sally, are we done with the questions?
There was one added while you were talking about
Is there
21.
any metadata package XML for agent extract or deployment? Yes, there is. You could actually do package XML under the manifest, just like you do with a regular Apex or flows or whatever you want to. This is the package XML to work with the metadata for your agents, NGA agents. In here, the metadata for the agents quite trivial, and this is the actual agent, and it's version 11.13.
And we would
So,
add the bots too as well to the
the
package.xml.
bot is gonna be also added to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a Melody bot right over here. It says, oh, this is version 7. The bot doesn't need to be updated, so this stayed just on the very first version I created.
That's great.
And
Yeah.
the reason I have 7 is because the first 6 were totally messed up, and I said, no, you know what? Scratch that, start over. So, all right, good.
So yeah, I think we are done the questions, Andres, and I want to take a brief moment like to thank you so much. We took so much time of you today, but we all learned a lot during the presentation and your generosity as well in answering the questions. So many thanks, and I really appreciate the time, and definitely will be in touch for another session, maybe for the flows versus Apex and your input about that. I know this is a very important topic. A lot of learners ask about it and wonder. So we'll be in touch, and I don't think it will be even the second and last session. We'll have you over and over again. We learn
We'll
a
have
lot
more.
from you. So thank you so much. And I really appreciate it. And thank you, everyone who watched and stayed with us and watching the YouTube. Get in touch with Andres on LinkedIn. If you have questions, you can DM Andres directly, or if you want to send it to me on Code with Sally, WhatsApp, or Slack, and I will share the answer with you once I get it. Feel free. So thank you so much, Andres, and it was an honor and pleasure to have you today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The pleasure was all mine. We'll be back with more topics. Drop us a line to Sally or to me. If you're interested in more specific topics, questions, we'll build something for you guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.